Disclaimer, shit content as always, but this is just a filler video for now, so without further ado, Tankies, boys. Yup, the boys. What's the story, Montegori? Did your dad come back yet? No? Ah, well. Gives you more of a reason to watch some of my videos then, right? Now, over the past month, I've been getting in the ring with some tankies on, I just realised the camera's right fucking there. I've been getting in the ring with tanky creators on TikTok, right? Tankies are a tough fucking bunch there, right? Hard to crack. I'm messing. If I actually thought that, I wouldn't be making this video such low effort. Fucking rubbish. But I can't sit down comfortably, fuck's sake. I'm going to be going more in depth about some really shy tanky creators and some of the TikToks I did about them. Because I can't do it on TikTok. I just can't get the engagement. It has to be on YouTube, I feel like, right? Because the ratio of the video, it's really awkward to watch a horizontal video in a vertical format. So that's one of the reasons anyway. The other one is I need to boost my engagement, right? With the YouTube algorithm, right? So without any further ado, right, I'm not gonna fucking bet around the So without any further ado, I'm not going to do any circles around the roundabout. Let's just get into the video. Seen this video of Trump
Tanky before? It is a pejorative, and what it refers to is someone who apologizes for the violence and crimes against humanity that were perpetrated by Marxist-Leninist regimes, but most specifically in the Soviet Union under Stalin, okay?
The other day, where he says this.
See that interview with him where he said I would end the Ukraine war in a day. He said, do you not want Ukraine to win? Do you want Russia to win? He goes, no, I want people to stop dying.
You want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying, Russians and Ukrainians.
Crazy that that's a controversial statement.
Yeah,
and it's crazy that people can't, like, because he's saying it,
right,
they invalidate it.
Because the message is coming from Trump, people completely dismiss it.
See, that's the thing. Just stop fighting enables right-wing rhetoric, right? Because Ukraine is the one that wants peace. Russia doesn't want peace. Russia wants a total surrender of Ukraine, and after Ukraine surrenders, they want to invade other unprotected countries, right? They're even sharpening their knife on Poland, right? It's just that Poland is paranoid, and so Russia, what they're doing is they're like a fucking homeless man, like whacking off to some woman on a subway, right? Because they know if they come up to her, she's just going to pepper spray them, right? These Russian bot farms are even now spreading fake pictures of, like, Polish soldiers where they just change the insignia to Wagner insignia, as if they're on the Polish border. Like, it's fucking pathetic, right? And now they're saying Poland wants to invade Kaliningrad along with Lithuania, which should also give them a reason to invade Lithuania, because they have, like, a corridor with them on the border, right? If only, that's what Russia's thinking, if only they weren't part of NATO, right? Georgia's still fucking occupied, right? What happened to that peace deal? Georgians that were killed in Abkhazia and South Ossetia still have to live in Russia for how long, right? When is the West going to stop being fucking pussies and arm Ukraine, fight off Russia? And do you know what's better? Fight Russia yourself. Fuck diplomacy. This is literally Hitler, right? You're repeating the same mistakes from history that Chamberlain did before Churchill, right? Pretending like you are Churchill. I'm looking at you, Boris Johnson, right? trying to fucking find a diplomatic means to end the war with Russia. Russia's an irrational actor. You can't work things out with them. They always want more. You're honestly trying to... This is fucking funny, man. Watching the West fucking grind their teeth, right? Looking for solutions when Russia's out here just saying, yeah, you're using like biochemical weapons against ethnic Russians and mosquitoes infected with a virus, and the US delegation is just looking at, well, maybe we can find some way to rationale our way out of this. No, you fucking can't. There can be no peace, because at the end of the day, if Russia loses, there will be peace. If Ukraine loses, there will be no Ukraine. Do you understand that? I hope you do. That was my message. Now, go get him. Here's a couple of videos I made about Tankies on TikTok to show you why and what the effects of education being at an all-time low in America is.
This is a picture of Russia balkanized into 36 states, and it was tweeted out by this guy who's the chairman of an Australian NGO. And he says, the faster we recognize this new reality, the less bloody the breakup of Russia will be. And many people keep pointing out that Putin's justification for invading Ukraine is that the West is attacking Russia. So when you tweet out maps like this and say you're going to destroy the Russian state, it kind of helps to prolong the war. Especially when you work for some NGO that's affiliated with the State Department or the AUKUS alliance between the US, UK, and Australia. But like, this is the
same kind of America bad trap that most Western leftists, Marxist-Leninists, and people who like Hassan fall into, where self-determination for indigenous people of a colonized land is good when it's America. But all of a sudden, when it's Russia, now it's American interests that are at fault. You know, these people couldn't possibly want to separate from Russia because they want self-determination. No, it's Western interests and American hegemony that are at fault. When it's these people, it's good. They're preserving their culture, their traditions. They were genocided, land back. When it's these people, or these people that want to separate from Russia, they're just fulfilling Western interests. Great. It's capitalism's fault. They want to separate from Russia, not Russian imperialism, which I'll get into right now. Now, the Trail of Tears and everything that happened genocide-wise to Native Americans in America and in Canada is obviously bad, but it just doesn't hold a candle to the horror and genocide that, you know, my Russian ancestors subjugated indigenous people of Russia to over the past 1,000 years. You know, if you don't believe me, you're still like, oh, America bad. No, only they can genocide Native Americans the worst. Just watch a film by a Yakut director called Nucha that came out in 2021. Now, Nucha in the Sakhalar language means Russian. And it's a film about how my ancestors came to their land around, like, you know, the 1700s, and how we assumed that everything there is ours and forcefully Russified them, which is the genocide that we subjugated people to, is we incorporated them into us. So while Native Americans, because they got physically genocided, still preserved their culture and traditions, we simply got rid of entire peoples by simply assimilating them over thousands of years. By simply assimilating them over hundreds of years and completely wiping out their cultures, and the ones that survived we brutally put down and repressed their language, or languages. So it really makes me disappointed when pea-brained, hydrocephalic, one-celled organisms like this fucking cunt make assumptions about entire groups of people through the lens of America bad. If you're a leftist, get rid of this mindset. This is exactly why communist countries fail, because we don't know how to blame ourselves. That's all I'm going to say to you, boys. Blame Russia sometimes, you know? Sometimes Russia's worse than America. Well, that was mid-Western Marx or something. Then there's this dickhead, right? This waste of a head, who calls himself an anarchist despite the fact that he's a Stalinist.
First and foremost, you might be familiar with your logo. This is the logo of the...
See, it's actually funny how these fucking tanky weirdos think that it's this big fucking gotcha, right? Gotcha moment when they point out that Azov has Nazi tattoos. Scary, right? Wait, so by that logic, right, like I've said a billion fucking times already, does that mean that if I tattoo or have like an insignia on my forehead that says I am a millionaire, would that make me a millionaire? Would that now mean that I physically have $1 million? Like, is there something that I'm not getting? Right, what makes you a Nazi? Having Nazi tattoos or insignia or whatever, or actually doing Nazi shit like the Russian army and Wagner, where there's countless, unlike Azov, where you give me some articles from the Times of Israel who are right-wing propaganda, right? That's not even a question. There's actual thousands or hundreds of videos of Wagner executing people with fucking sledgehammers and shit, cutting brown people of colours, fucking necks open, right, in Syria, right? You're not going to talk about that, no. You're going to talk about the Azov battalion and how scary they are, Nazis, even though there's no videos of them doing any war crimes. There's videos of them killing Russian soldiers, sure, but that's not killing soldiers during time of battle. It's not a war crime. Sorry, lads. So I think it's about time for you tanky weirdos to take Russia's Mickey out your mouth and stop pretending like the Azov battalion or whatever Tornado or whatever the fuck you say are Nazi battalions. None of them are. If they hold Nazi ideas, they haven't acted on them in 9 fucking years. But Russia has been acting on them ever since they started existing as a fucking country. So lads, cop on, will you? Then some neo-tanky milk suckers filming videos waiting for his dad to come back with the milk.
If you keep siding with these people, back in the 80s, when Ronald Reagan was president, he went over and helped arm this fighting group of freedom fighters and said they were like the founding fathers of the United States and blah, blah, blah. They are going to bring freedom and democracy to Afghanistan if they repel the Soviet invasion. This back to the Azov battalion and show you imagery from them and their radical ideology. But you and I both know I would probably get a big boot on this video for showing imagery like that, because it's a really hateful ideology.
First of all, true, but like, any minuses though, for real? You know, second of all, Ukraine's goal is and Azov is to protect their country, make sure it fucking exists. It's not to do terrorist attacks in Russia. They don't give a shit about Russia. And they're also not backwards like the fucking Taliban in fucking Afghanistan of all places. Right? You know how far Europe is from Afghanistan, right? Pretty fucking far. Not even geography wise, just values in general. So I ask you again. Yeah, it's based. Any minuses though? And then there's this Euro shop beside him, man, looking like Leshy from Russian Fairy Tales looking ass, right? His name's Rockbone on TikTok or whatever. Definitely Cook or something, like, you can check him out if you want your brain to fucking implode on itself. The Tankies have a certain brain morphology that doesn't allow them to take in information without them calling it CIA propaganda, you see.
The only thing depressing is your lack of critical thinking here. Incorrect. This is you not critical.
So this man is a leftist Westerner defending Russia. Now, I'm Russian, right? And oh boy, I want to let you in on a little secret, come here. Now, Western leftists love defending Russia and saying it's all American imperialism's fault. How do you think Russia got so big? I'll let you guess. I'll let you take a quick guess. Now, there's a Yakut film called Nucha, which means Russian, by a director called Vladimir Mankuyev, which I recommend. It shows how my Russian ancestors, when they came to free Yakutia from Nazis in the 16th century, just how friendly they were to the local population. You know, one of the nicest things they do is Yakuts were shamanistic. They were pagan, right? And Russians didn't like that. Come on. Russians are the best, and everyone has to be Russian. So what did they do? They took a Yakut person, with like 8 lads, put a log over the back of their neck, tied their hands to it, carried them to a frozen river, and forcefully baptized them, giving them Russian names. And if they dared to not want to be Russian or Christian, right, they'd have to give their daughters over to the Russians in exchange for fur, oil, a lamp oil, you know, shit like that. You know what they do to them. Yeah, Yakut women to Russians were on the same level as property, as resources, materials, right? But we don't even have to look that far into history. During the Caucasian Wars in the 19th century, Mr. Mikhail Lermontov, one of the most famous Russian poets that we're taught about in schools, detailed with glee how he forced a squadron of Ukrainian soldiers to rape local Caucasian women for not giving away their husbands' positions while they were fighting guerrilla war against the Russians. And you'd probably forgive them if they did it once or twice, but they did it to everyone in all of these republics over the course of 500 years. And they continued doing it through the Tsarist times, you know, in the early 20th century, the Soviet Union, and now the modern Russian Federation. Absolutely nothing has changed. You know, Russian politics have always been very simple. From Ivan the Great to Putin. It's either you become Russian and assimilate into our culture and you'll be fine, or we'll have to bring the Russian world to your doorstep and liberate you from the Nazis. Hey, I mean, you deserved it. You didn't want to be a part of it. A lot better than living under Western hegemony, am I right? And who's Russia using now even to fight its liberation war against the evil West in Ukraine? Well, obviously neo-Nazis. Like, what? The Wagner Group, guys. The Wagner Group. You know, the lads who are known for butchering people of colour in the Middle East and Africa as part of their leader Prigozhin's neo-colonialist project. Named by their founder, Dmitry Utkin, after Hitler's favourite composer, you can look this up, Richard Wagner, they make up around 70% of the forces fighting in Ukraine. Do you believe that? And who's their founder? Dmitry Utkin, Putin's son-in-law, who has some interesting tattoos to say, well, I reckon he must be an electrician or something. Look at that. Now you might be saying, oh, but that's only the war now. Oh, it's only now they have to use Nazis as a last resort. Or whatever, I don't know what you'll say. Let's look at 2014. All the way back in 2014, Russia used a right-wing monarchist terrorist, Igor Girkin, who is honest about hating Ukrainians, this flag is Novorossiya, which is the colonial project in Ukraine. He literally says he admits that Russia is colonizing Ukraine. He likes it and says the US isn't at fault. They used him to occupy Sloviansk in Donetsk in 2014, starting this whole war, all the way back then, 8 years ago, right? He's the fucker that shot down the Malaysia flight, right, got arrested in the Netherlands. Oh yeah, but, you know, as a leftist, you should definitely be taking Russia's side on this. Yeah, definitely. So, in conclusion, this irrelevant creator, whose name I didn't even bother to read, is a tanky. And if you're a leftist, don't watch his videos. And definitely don't support Russia. As a Russian, I'm telling you this, as a leftist, because they're a colonial power, a modern day colonial power that uses colonialist tactics from the 1800s. I'd say between America and Russia, there's definitely one that's better. But anyways, boys, show me how wrong you are in the comments. Now, there's definitely something very big that I forgot to say that I left out of the video. Ah, well, maybe I'll record it, shove it in somewhere where it doesn't belong another time, because I found out that YouTube doesn't favour my videos because of the algorithm. Favours both quality and quantity, things that neither of I can provide. So, see you in the next one, I guess. Right? Well, I hope I do. I don't see most of you. There's 109 of you, but only fucking 12 of you watch videos. fix that.